burned at the stake by the church who employed him. But let's run through the numbers 1 through 12 real quick just to get a fat gist of what the rest of this video will entail. 1 is God or source. 2 is mind or dual systems of thought. 3 is new life or resurrection by realizing the union of the first two. Examples would include Jonah's 3 days inside the fish and Christ's 3 days in the tomb. It is the outpourings which radiate from divine being, like the Trinity and the elements of alchemy, salt, sulfur, and mercury. 3 is the first possible shape that happens to be pointing upward. Nicola and many ancient texts state that the all comes from the 3. 4 is the fourfold nature of man: physical, spiritual, intellectual, and emotional. It also represents the 4 cardinal directions that we are bound to while walking on Earth. So basic earthiness, like the squaring of the circle that we have covered in previous videos. We are also reminded of the black cube. 5 is sacrifice. This could be referring to a sacrifice of the 5 senses that tend to get us in trouble. The number 5 also seems to represent the fallen morning star Lucifer coming into worldliness, thus heaven sacrificing a part of itself. Christ endured 5 wounds before becoming spiritually realized, which happened in Golgotha, by the way, a word that translates to skull. The city seems to be named after that which encases the brain. Keep this in mind for later. 6 is materiality, but this time representing law and religious doctrines, the very things that Jesus symbolically threw out when he turned 6 jars of water, something of earth, into wine, which of course is a spirit. It seems clear he meant that divine communion is far more important than man's religious writings. And then there is the number 7. 7 always seems to indicate divine intervention. Every time we see a 7 in the Bible or other sacred texts, we know it's about to go down. But we will go deep into this symbolic number after the intro. 8 is rupture or separation and the cycle of bringing back what is separate, hence infinity. 9 is human consciousness, or us as we are currently, hence we have 1, 2, and 6 combined, as it takes 9 zodiacal months to take this form in pregnancy. 10 is completion of the earthly self via the prior 9. For example, the 10th world in Buddhism has a dictation effect over the other 9. 11 is you and God mind together, hence 10 plus the 1. Think of this as kind of a messenger. And lastly, 12 is perfection of all in these Eastern teachings. It is the symbolism of the zodiac, and in the Kabbalah, 9, or us, plus the 3 principles, hence numerical perfection. These particular numbers having parallel meanings in multiple sacred writings, many of which predate the Bible, is beyond coincidence. Connecting these dots are difficult to us as we have been programmed to read and understand school textbooks, which are frankly the most literal writings possible. So we end up thinking that the use of numbers means a literal count of something, like a quantity. It is no wonder the allegorical